When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hall, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished that and was returned to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. And that's why I ended up using the Nicholas Samurai costume. Inconvenience. Stab the body with the knife, but why would you do that? Isn't it obvious? To pin the blame on a certain person. A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt. That scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. So Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with a knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intention of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. What? How is this possible? I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. I'm so confused. But you could tell from the state the room was in that there must have been a fight. Are you telling me the truth when you say that you did not know how he was dead? Or didn't know he was dead? He had a scarf tied around his neck, but that scarf is a part of the Jammin' Ninja's costume, so I don't think anything about it was strange. His head was also tilted down a bit, so I couldn't see his face that well. That's why I thought I'd wake him up and went to pour the juice. What is this plan you had? I knew right away the murderer was Matt. I knew because, one, he was going to expose Matt's weak point to the world. So Matt did this to stop Juan and silence him for good. That's when I thought I should forge some evidence and pin the crime on Matt. So the forged piece of evidence were the knife and the button. The first thing that came to mind was to plant the knife. That was so you could get the knife, correct? The knife Matt used at dinner had his fingerprints all over it. I thought if I used that when the police would surely turn their eyes towards him. Matt was napping with his costume on at the time. I slipped in, took the knife, and returned it to the scene of the crime. Stab on his dead body. It only has his fingerprints on it, though. It's not gonna, okay. Oh, there is no contradiction, even though she wouldn't have been able to hold the knife and use it, even because there's no fingerprint. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Fuck you, Judge. It would work! I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Because all I have to say is, there is no proof that she held that knife at all. And then I stabbed the body with the press. It gives me goosebumps to think about it now. What a horrible thing I did. But at the time, I couldn't control my own body, and it moved on its own. Then, when I stabbed Juan's dead body, I suddenly realized something. If I used the button somehow, I could make Matt look even more suspect. So you thought to rip off one of the buttons off and then point it on Mr. On Guard's Hakama. Yes, that's what I had planned to do. But things never go that smoothly, do they? Just when I finished and I was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. An inconvenience? There's a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lana. There's also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Old Bag for you. I'd already caught and made it into a big scoop, so I couldn't very well go out like that myself and get caught again. That's why. So you were the one who prepared that costume, weren't you? Yes, I took it from Global Studios. I also put it into Juan's guitar case the day before the award ceremony. You did this in preparation for the press conference, correct? Yes, Juan wanted to wear that costume and hold a press conference in it. He was going to disclose Matt's big secret there. And what is this secret? That I don't know. Anyway, I thought that if I were to leave Juan's room in the nickel samurai costume, then people would think that Matt was the real murderer. I was very careful not to leave any fingerprints when I opened the guitar case. I absolutely did not want anyone to know about the costume. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. On Guard's room and planted the button. Into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into a bag. Then I snuck it out of the hotel and got rid of it. My word. What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt On Guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Francisca, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstances, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. I had no choice but to believe in her words. Fuck. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor. The defense still... Right. It's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Well, tampering with evidence. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. The cross-examination of this witness is over, and so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. God fucking bless. Thank you. But... Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Go fuck yourself, Judge. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. I will place her under house arrest. That's all. Court's adjourned for today. Oh, Jesus. Today's trial, it's over. And I didn't win an acquittal. Witness, would you mind if I asked you something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright. I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room. That day. Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him. You found that card next to the victim's body. I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to the one's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But it's still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Witness that card. Give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I didn't mean to. What is this all about? I'd never seen such an emotional Edgeworth in my entire life. That card, what in the world is it, and what does it mean? Edgeworth. I mean, that's obviously the calling card or whatever. But... Mystic Maya! Mystic Maya! So, there, Pearls. It's okay. I can't take it anymore. Look, it'll be alright. Everything may still work out. The condition was that we had to get a non-guilty verdict, and so far the kidnapper has kept his word and hasn't hurt Maya. And he won't because Mr. On Guard hasn't been given a guilty sentence yet. Cheer up, we don't have that time to stand around crying. We have to get going. You're right. Mystic Maya is in much more pain than I am. Yes, that's right, so... Hey you guys, glad I caught you, pal. I was about to use Maya's voice, but... Mr. Scruffy Detective. Oh boy, looks like Detective Gumshoe has been dubbed Mr. Scruffy Detective in Pearl's book now. It's just plain old Mr. Dick Gumshoe now. I came to talk to you, pal. But we're kind of busy right now. I'm glad you are fired. So, what are you going to do from now on? What do you mean, pal? Oh, you've been fired, right? So, do you have a new job lined up yet? Oh, that, huh. What am I supposed to do now, pal? I don't have anything coming in at all until in my next payday. What are you talking about? You don't have another payday. I guess that means I'm just gonna have to work here at your place, pal. No. Say what? You'll be searching for things that'll prove Mr. On Guard's innocence all day, right? Well, yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna help you, pal. I've got lots of experience in investigating and watching other people's, over people's places. I'm great at making really simple meals, pal. I'll take care of you all. Come on, Mr. Nick. Let's let Mr. Scruffy Detective take care of things. Okay. By the way, what's your best dish? Instant noodles, pal. You're a fucking savant at cooking. I'm so glad you're staying here. Why am I surrounded by people who only eat cheap, unhealthy foods? That was the first time I've ever seen Mr. Edgeworth act like that. Never thought he'd say something like he didn't care if Miss Andrews killed herself. He said that? That's horrible. But because of him doing that, he got the truth finally. The truth. Miss Andrews' last testimony, I wonder if that was the truth. I'll give you that there was nothing strange in her testimony itself, but I still think there is something fundamentally wrong with the whole thing. What do you mean about that thing, pal? Why would she want to? No, I mean almost need to frame On Guard. I can figure that out from anything she said all day. Then you're saying that testimony was a lie. No, not a lie per se. It just feels like there's more here than meets the eye. Or that's what Edgeworth would like us to believe. But that's such a dirty trick. Even that woman prosecutor was better than that. Franziska von Karma. Speaking of Miss von Karma, do you have any more information on her condition? Wasn't she shot this morning? Yeah, she was. Miss von Karma was shot today on the way to the trial by a pistol, pal. But she's gonna be fine, right? I mean, Edgeworth said she was in stable condition, but... Well, she was shot in the shoulder, so she's okay and still hanging in there. They should be done taking the bullet out, and she's probably resting at the hospital. Which one? What, are you going to visit her, pal? No. Well, I was kind of thinking about it. Hey, you've actually got a heart, don't you? She looked like she was being tortured to death, not being able to go to trial today. So maybe it'll be good for her if you win and let her whip you for a bit, pal. Let's go let her whip us, Mr. Nick. No, I'm definitely not going. Let's see, the name of the hospital. Oh yeah, the Hottie Clinic. Are you fucking joking? That name sends a chill down my spine. Well, I guess it can't hurt to stop by and say hi. Why? I don't even remember what I even gave him for a voice. Because I'm sure he's gonna come around. Never thought I'd come back to this place. Yes, oh, I remember. Are you here to visit a patient? Yeah, hi. Wait a second. You're... yes, I'm Director Honey. Why are you still here? Yes, what is it? Can I help you? You can tell me. Yeah, yes. Director Honey. Edgeworth? Yes, I'm Director Honey. You're the man from this morning. Yes, what is it? Director, Franziska. How is Franziska von Karma? Oh, you don't need to worry. Yes, she's in good hands. Because you see, I'm personally taking good care of her. Yes. Yeah, you're going to get whipped. Yes, and that surgery, it went well. You have my gratitude. Looks like Edgeworth doesn't know about this director and his secret. She looks so pitiful, absolutely terrified. Yes, but I understand. Yes, her opponent was a gun after all. And when I snuck up on her real secret like, she would scream really loud. Yes. I see. But she's really cute too. When I thought that she'd whip me with her whip, when I do that, she'd whip me. Boy, did I cry like a baby. Yes, but I think I could get used to it. Go back to your room. You're so mean, so mean, my frisky Friska. Okay, yes, it's time for my IV drops, yes. What are those tulips doing in your hand, Mr. Wright? Mr. Phoenix Wright? I knew I shouldn't have come here. I just wanted to see how you're doing. I was shot in front of the courthouse in my right shoulder. It's no big deal, this sort of thing happens all the time. I even had full intentions of running this trial this morning. But that would have been too much. Yeah, you look like you were deathly scared until a few minutes ago. But I was dragged here by that prosecutor. He even went so far as to grab me by the wrist the whole way there. I was the only logical course of action given the bullet was still lodged in your shoulder. With me doing so, I found myself having to clean up after you and that irresponsible deal you made. I think I know what deal he's referring to. Miss Von Karma, you made a deal with Miss Andrews yesterday, didn't you? I don't know what you mean. In order to make sure you got your guilty verdict on Mr. On Guard, you told Miss Andrews to not testify in court today. I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have proof that I made such a deal? You're denying it? Looks like you were lucky, Mr. Phoenix Wright. If I had been in court today, this trial would already be over. All while hiding Miss Andrews' own crime? That isn't my problem, whether she had tampered with evidence or not. I have only one objective, to find On Guard guilty of murder. The ends justify the means, Mr. Phoenix Wright. The end justifies the means. Miss Von Karma? Adrian Andrews believed you when you said, if you don't tell me the truth of what really happened, then On Guard will be found guilty. And what does that have to do with me? Because of that, she is now in danger of being found guilty herself. All because she believed in your words until the very end. It still has nothing to do with me. She's just a weak person, that's all. But you had to know she was. How? I think visiting hours here are about over. So, if you'll excuse me. What's wrong? Why did she suddenly cut you off? Probably because she thinks I had the advantage in that argument. Edgeworth? Looking a little rough. What happened today at the trial, Edgeworth? That was not like you at all. I mean, I know you knew about Miss Andrews' condition. You could have made her testify as many times as you wanted, but to go that far. But but she wouldn't testify about that until I said something. Listen, Wright, the courtroom is a garden of judgment. I'm putting myself on the line when I stand in there, and that's why I made the witness do the same. It's only natural. You were really angry in court today. That's rare for you. Witness that card, give it to me. Hurry. Do you have any idea what you have stupidly inadvertently done? That card, what in the world is that? What is it? You mean this? Listen, Wright. This is top secret information. You absolutely cannot leak this. A special investigation team has existed for a number of years, but a few know of it. I understand. Their task is to find the owner of this card, a man called Shelly the Killer. And just as his name states, he is a killer, an assassin. The best at that. An assassin. So, who is the Shelly the Killer? The Killer is the name of a long-standing line of assassins. Long-standing. The name first appeared about 100 years ago, I hear. Shelly is the professional name of the third heir to the Killer name. So because his professional name is Shelly, he leaves the cards with a shell on them. He has a habit of making sure to leave a card by the body of his victims. Why would he do something like that? We think it's part of his duty to his clients. His duty. If he leaves a card, then his client can be assured it was he who killed the victim. It also serves as insurance against any charges being pushed onto his clients. I feel like this is such a red herring. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt actually did it somehow. Or maybe not personally, but it would still be his fault. And that's why the killer's so insistent on Matt getting off innocent. Because he might be way more likely to flip. I see. The killer values the trust between his clients and himself above all else. It seems that this is one honorable assassin with a moral conscience. I guess that even honorable assassins can exist. So you think this assassin, you think he's the one who did the killing in this case? It would appear that way. The discovery of the card basically confirms it, wouldn't you agree? Shelly the Killer, huh? My situation. I noticed something at the trial today. You were behaving in a very strange manner. Is something the matter? I guess I should just tell him. Maya, she's been kidnapped. Kidnapped? What does the kidnapper want? An acquittal. I see. I had no idea. I will prepare a rescue team as soon as possible and resolve this by tomorrow. Really? Can you go ahead and just tell him that it's the killer? Did you hear that, Mr. Nick? Mr. Edgeworth is going to. Stop trying to console me, Edgeworth. I don't need your pity. Mr. Nick? There's no way you can find her. We don't have even a single clue to go on. There's only one way to save her. I have to get an acquittal somehow. It's the only way. Right, listen, you need to know something. Juan Corrida was killed by Shelly the Killer. And the client who ordered the job is Matt on guard. Your own client. I wouldn't be surprised. I believe that is the case in this instance. Please stop. I can't listen to you. I can't believe that. I see. Well, if you want to continue your investigation, you will need this. What is it? The hotel right now is restricted to police personnel only. As we are looking for any clues that might lead us to Shelly the killer, if you take this with you to the hotel, I'm sure they will let you enter. Cool. In any case, I must attend to the preparations for Maya's rescue team. We'll meet again if anything should happen. Now, if you'll excuse me. Why don't you tell him it's the killer that kidnapped her? Mr. Nick, do you think Mr. On Guard hired an assassin? Yeah, I do. That's why he can say that he didn't kill him? Personally. No way. I mean, he doesn't have a psych lock. Yeah, I guess not. Maya. Please, all I ask is you make it home safe and sound. Date unknown, time unknown, and locations unknown. Guess even kidnappers can be a little clumsy. Clumsy enough to drop a card like this for me. And even though he said he was an assassin, I bet he's just making that up, like how Nick does with everything in court. Maya. Anyway, let's try out this card trick I've just found. Sounds like I got the door open. Okay, time to take a look around. This is horrible. Can I just stay here? Let's get out of here and get caught already. There's nothing gonna be in here. I mean, we're in the hotel for sure. That's a hotel wine cellar. We'll probably be in the kitchen. We're not in the hotel. What is this place? I've got a feeling I'm not at the hotel anymore. Are these videos over there? Well, I'll worry about that later. For now, I should be looking for clues. That way, I can show them to assist and maybe get out of here. Is that a fucking dog door? That's weird. What's a figurine doing on a sofa in a place like this? I think it's a bear. Oh, how cute. It's got a lot of cuts and slits on it. I wonder if it's some kind of puzzle or something. There's a framed picture sitting on this coffee table. It's a picture of a woman. She's kind of pretty. That looks like Miss Celeste. Hey, looks like something's written here. Let's see. I think it says, with love, Celeste. Hey, it is. This could be a clue. And that's why they ended up wanting him dead. Because this killer probably really was into her. Or maybe Matt was. Because we really don't have enough information personally about her. So probably Matt was in a relationship with her. She ends up killing herself. Because he sees it as wanted making her kill herself. And he then wants one taken out for that. Oh, hey, it's a computer. I've never really used one before. I have no idea where the power switch on this thing is. Drat. There goes my plan to use this somehow to get out of here. It's a nice house TV. I've never seen a TV this big before. Now where's the power button? Oh, phooey, it's busted. I'll just die a happy samurai fan. If I ever got to see the Nickel Samurai on a TV like this. Ah, I can't believe I just made a joke about dying, all things considered. Let's talk about this giant fucking satellite. What is this thing, an antenna? I guess? Well, satellite dish. Is this a VCR? There sure are a lot of electronic gadgets here. What is an antenna doing here? Locked, of course. It doesn't look like you can use the card to open this door. There's a little hole at the bottom of the door. If only I was a little skinnier, then maybe I'd be able to crawl through here. Oh, this simply will not do. I cannot have you wandering around at will. Nah! It seems that your Mr. Wright is truly concerned about you. Yes? For now, I would suggest you remain cooperative. If you cannot, there are ways in which I can help you. Ways, you mean? Dead men tell no tales is how the saying goes, correct? Dead? I'm almost certain I told you of our first meeting. I am an assassin. No way, you're lying. I mean an assassin. People are not always who they appear to be. Nick! Howdy Clinic. Mr. Nick? Oh, yeah, Burrows? Got caught up in my thoughts about my situation. Mr. Edgeworth has left, you know. I guess for now I have no choice but to believe in Mr. On Guard. I just don't. But I think I should listen to his story one more time. Alright, let's get going too. Okay. Going to go see Matt then.